OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small ads.
Erectile problems. Ha, 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 ha.
Found. DVD of Lost.
Want to earn pounds, pounds, pounds? Yes, £3.
Would you like no strings attached sex? Contact my whore of an ex-wife.
Worried about hair loss? You bald bastard.
Dog available to good home. Free prawn crackers with every delivery.
Want to earn money at home? Become a prostitute. It's easy.
Problems with your short-term memory? Can't remember what you've just read? Problems with your short-term memory?
Room to let. No one has died in it. No one.
Wanted, 1 Spice Girls ticket and 1 gun.
Bored, lonely, depressed. Meet like-minded people at salsa dancing.
We've had reports of an iceberg, but don't worry, no ship has ever been sunk by a lettuce.
Hello and welcome to Ryanair Cruises. The following safety announcement is incredibly vital if you want to stay alive. And if you'd like to hear that, that'll be an extra £5.
No, we very rarely get any injuries from people playing quoits. You were just unlucky to be sunbathing naked with an erection.
Oh, yeah, we were on this last year when it sunk.
If you look to your left, there's a man eating squid. After that, he's having chips.
I would like to apologise for the rocking of this boat, but we are currently being humped by a whale.
Hey, thanks for coming to the show. I've got to be honest, it's been a while since I've sung this one. Do you want to be in my gang, my gang?
Welcome to Rita's Erotic Ping Pong Bingo. 2 fat ladies, 82. Oh, the threes, 33. Oh, some hobnobs.
For those of you gathering on the car deck, I said we would soon be docking, not dogging.
I'm looking for a really old husband with money. How's your heart?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm in the cabin next to yours. Could you be a bit noisy when you're having sex?
There appears to have been an incident in the swimming pool. If a Mr. Barrymore could contact the captain.
Okay, give that round. Points go to Chris, Hugh and Sarah.
Now we play a round called Loose Men. This game involves Andy, Rod, Tom and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge who produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is credit crunch. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, the government have got this idea that what they want to do is bankers who've lost their jobs, They want to retrain them as teachers, but in half the time it would normally take to train a teacher. I bet the teachers are happy about that, aren't they? Hey, these people were crap at banking. The chances are they're also going to be crap at teaching, and they'll be even crapper if they're trying to train them in half the time it would normally take. Yeah, these people, right, surely it'd be better to retrain them as bankers. That is what they were crap at.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is eating out. Who wants to talk about that? Rod.
I ate out the other day. That's what I went to Cardiff Bay. It's all changed, you know. They've done it all up, and it's all European development money. And some of the places now have got tables outside. It's al fresco dining in Wales. Just taking the piss. I think I tried to have a Twixt on a bus stop a few years ago down there. It was too wet to eat. So everyone's pretending it's Madrid down there. You know, your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it. I didn't get past my starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater. I gave up. Everyone's pretending it's Madrid, don't you? Your soup bowl's filling up. There's waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the tables going, spaghetti carbonara, spaghetti carbonara. I'll get another one, I'll get another one.
Whatever. That leaves us with Tom and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is extreme sports. Who wants to come in on that?
No, why not? I went skydiving. I don't know if anybody here has ever gone skydiving, but if you haven't gone, I'll tell you what they do. They give you a couple lessons, then they bring you up into the plane, and you're not allowed to jump out of the plane on your own because it's too scary. So what they do is they hang you off the wing of the plane, which isn't scary at all. And the guy inside, he yells, "Let go!" 3 times. Then he gets mad. Starts kicking your hands. 'Cause I'm not letting go. We all skydive different. I skydive with a big plane in my hand.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, "Watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you. They'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna..." I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door. Well, let's put him on now, scare him. Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out?
Families. Well done, Russell. Point it in and go to Rod and Tom.
What did the Bank of England unveil last week?
I think it was a new fiver, wasn't it?
This is the new fiver, my friend. This is the new fiver.
Oh, make it rain.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of doing that. Like, oh, yeah, fiver. Yeah. Oh,
you're making it drizzle.
Hang on, that's it, isn't it? That's the motion. These were lent us by the bank for, you know, interest in satire, not for me to go,
It's literally the worst rap video of all time. Never see Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre fetching the money they've just thrown.
Oh, honey, yeah, £30. Does that make your dreams come true? Oh, this would be terrible. Imagine, because they're plasticky and clear and see through their polymer notes, which means you could actually go to the laptop and go, I can see you. I can see you using my money.
Imagine that, cashier. I can see you. I can see you. Just pay for the condoms and leave.
The testing that they put them through, they said they dipped it in tea for, you know, all those times you mistake a fiver for a hobnob.
I often do that when I'm taunting younger comedians. Oh, really? I eat my fivers.
It could be they realised the recession was caused by people leaving fivers in their jean pockets, putting them in the wash.
Fivers only last they only rarely last 5 years, a £5 note. You're
thrifty, aren't you?
Yeah?
I could make a fiver. I can't even make it last 5 years.
I mean, honestly, cost of living.
This is the most I've ever been paid for this show.
You can't rip it, can you?
It's very difficult to tear. Very
Awful
difficult to burn.
news for magicians.
That'd be so irritating, actually. Make it toing. Oh, come on. Sign it for me. Oh, is it here? Toing. Ah, come on. Bloody fivers.
I like that
Have you ripped? They're new notes given to us by the Bank of England specially. Have you literally torn?
Well, they should have made more of an effort to make it stronger. Back to the drawing board, guys.
Can I ask if that's actually allowed? Because one newspaper went mad about the fact that you were defacing the Queen, and then they said of all the indignities Churchill has suffered, being scrunched up, dipped in tea and Ribena is the worst. And I was like, surely it's the Nodding Dog commercial. Is that less dignified? Oh, yes.
We shall fight them on the beaches. Okay, so those are the fivers, yes, please, if you can.
Guys, bad news, I lost mine.
Unlikely things to hear at an awards ceremony.
And the winner is Dara O'Brien.
And the award for Driver of the Year goes to David Cameron for his perfectly executed U-turns.
Welcome to the National Insincerity Awards. And can I say, what a pleasure it is to be here.
And Soap of the Year goes to Coronation Street.
Would you please welcome your host for the night, Dec.
And the award for Best Actress this evening goes to John Travolta's wife.
Father of the Year is David Cameron.
And predictably, for the 50th year running, the Rear of the Year has been won by the same man. Come on up, Chris. It's a Chris Rea joke.
And the award for Best Film, Kling Film.
Oh, that was all right, though, was it? It's bullshit, Dara.
It's all politics, man.
This is the point in the Psychic Awards when we like to remember those we lost next year.
Well, they said it was ill-advised, but welcome to the first Witness Protection Scheme Award.
And the award for most cleavage on view goes to Eamon Holmes's arse.
Well, now our final category. Category C. There are 3 sex offenders nominated tonight.
And I'd just like to say to the wife at home, you better not be there when I get home, sister. Because I'm big time now.
And the best posthumously released rap record goes to Kim Yong for I Told You I Was Ill.
Too late. Too late. And to present Best Film in a Foreign Language, would you please welcome Nick Griffin.
And the winner of Rear of the Year goes to Chris Rea.
Okay. By the way, what is the fear about the NHS?
It's to do with the brand, the patenting of pharmaceuticals.
Yes,
so
yeah,
they want to extend it, make it a longer term in terms, like in line with America.
And that would cause a problem because
that would cost more money to the NHS in terms of purchasing.
Yes. Can you ask him to explain that more coherently and lucidly?
No, I think he's done absolutely fine, Hugh.
Oh, thank you, Dara. Us baldies stick together, you see.
Yeah.
How do you think I got the job in The Apprentice? You're fired.
Ironically, baldies can't stick together at all. Just slide right
We don't stick together by the top of our head, Ed.
We don't all go, ooh, lovely, static electricity. Yes, drug costs in America, that's the fear, is that because there are certain drugs that cost, say, £2,000 in Britain, would cost £9,000 in America, right? And that's the fear. But obviously what they should do is, if they're getting them for £2,000, they should buy loads of them, then go to America and sell them for £6,000 and then fund the NHS by selling America's drugs cheaper back to Americans. Why has nobody thought of it?
Corbyn keeps banging on about how we're under threat from Big Pharma.
Yeah.
I only just saw that written down today, so for 2 weeks I've thought he's scared of a big pharma.
Off my land! Which celebrity has been out campaigning for the Lib Dems?
Hugh Grant.
Yes, it is Hugh Grant, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Here is Luciana Berger. He was also out with Chuka Amuna. Just knocking on doors in a way that would be totally natural, and not in any way would you open the door and go, holy shit, that's Hugh Grant.
Do you think he's sort of living his life backwards? Like this is all just a ploy to do some method research for Love Actually?
He just knocked on doors until he found Martine McCutcheon's house. And
got the cards out.
Yeah.
I'm just a man standing.
It's a different part of this. No.
No, it's a different.
Why? Tom!
That's all right.
You could not be more wrong. Absolute moron. Hugh Grant, Love Actually, knocked on doors for Martine McCutcheon.
Yeah.
But she didn't do paper one.
Yeah.
That was Keira Knightley. That weird
Andrew Lincoln.
pervert guy.
Pervert guy?
Yeah,
okay,
no.
Different Andrew.
Okay.
How many times have you watched Actually? You've been very well acquainted with it.
Isn't it not on endlessly and constantly?
Yeah.
You don't have to watch it, Dara. You're on television constantly, and I don't watch you.
Tom, Hugh and Unlikely things to hear on Doctor Who.
When I was giving you a quote as your cleaner, Doctor, I was giving you a quote from the outside.
No, there isn't going to be a new Doctor. I'm being replaced by a helpline.
That is the last time we park the TARDIS outside the Portaloos at Glastonbury.
Davros, we meet again. Oh, Lord Sugar, I'm so sorry.
Hey, saw you from across the TARDIS, and I think I regenerated in my pants.
Doctor, doctor, you must help me. I think I'm a pair of curtains.
Tragic news about the ood. There's been a terrible flood. They tried to escape into the wood, but it didn't do any good, and now they're all dude.
No, I'm the doctor who works for the World Health Organization.
Yes, I mainly hang around young women. Yes, I was on television in the 1970s. Where are you going with this?
You've got to believe me, Clara. This is our best chance. Now, unzip my flies and I'll explain later.
Let's go forward in time by an hour. Then we get a quid off the pizza.
Now, the first thing to remember on planet Xenon is turn off data roaming.
We are 10 million years in the future. H.G. Wells has just got married.
You are the doctor. I am the tracheotomy patient.
I am the doctor. I am 1,200 years old. And this is my assistant, who's 27.
Love a quiz.
It is our Liz quiz. Obviously, we'd like
the expense that has been spent on that.
I really want to thank you for coming in and recording that little wave. What two common documents does the Queen not have?
The Da Vinci Code. And Life of Pi. Next.
The rest of them, she has them all.
She doesn't have a driving licence.
She doesn't have a driving licence,
no. Although she has qualified to drive.
Yes, she has. She can drive. She was trained to drive in the army, as far as I know.
She did, yeah. She stripped down engines and everything in the army.
Absolutely, yeah.
Passport.
There's no driving licence and is the only person in the country who doesn't need a passport, as they're issued in her name. And so she cannot issue in her own name because, you know... But I think she's relatively good on the ID front because she just take out a tenner and go... you not get this? Go send a letter, bitch. What did the Queen invent with a dachshund and a corgi?
A dorgie.
Yes!
Is it?
Yes, it
I was
is.
joking.
She invented a breed of dog called a dorgie.
Which you say she invented it? What, she was there going, right, you put that in there now.
She didn't invent it, though, did she?
According to this card, yes, she did.
She couldn't have gone on Dragon's Den.
One needs £30,000 for 40%. It's always 40%. That's all they ever want, no matter how much you're going to say initially. 8%, 40. It's commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans. Commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans, says here. But what other water-based animals does she also have the right to own?
Ducks.
Not ducks, no.
Shopping trolleys.
I think it's... Is it dolphins?
It is. It's dolphins, whales and
pretty big
sturgeons.
on the royal family. I know a lot of stuff.
You really are, actually. It's quite worrying. Anything, dolphins, whales and sturgeons within 3 miles of the UK, they're hers.
Do the dolphins know, or do they just stray in and then that's it?
If they get too close, she's in a speedboat constantly, all right? Just patrolling that 3-mile limit around the country, right?
With her army of swans.
With her army of swans who work to track them.
When she does that wave, she's actually doing a fin motion to summon her dolphin army.
Army of dolphins, assemble! I come to do an army of dolphins. I want £40,000 for 35% of the company.
I have invented a swolfin.
So what changes does Ed Miliband propose to bring in about voting?
Is it the 16-year-olds can vote?
Yes, absolutely, 16-years. And 17-years, because that would be really weird if you just said 16-years too. But then, what, you're 17? No, you can't. It's because you've gone hormonal again. I mean, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. We don't know. You're going to
have a gap year.
Yeah, that'd be great. Gap year for voting.
Yeah, but that's a take one.
Listen, all young people are going to have a gap year of about 40 years before they vote again anyway.
And it seems very fair that you should be able to vote at 16 in Scotland, because 16 a lot of places in Scotland, that counts as middle age, doesn't it? So...
Yeah, to be honest, at 16, I don't think I would have been trusted myself, because my question would have been, will there be girls there? Yeah. Oh, no! Oh, I don't want to be girls.
Yeah, Poet Babe Station. That could have been. Whole Babe Station.
Girls there miming, voting. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Excellent. You can
X my box.
How about giving 3-year-olds the vote and still having one ballot box, but 4 different shapes that they have to put through?
It was working as well as the system we have now. What do Labour want public sector employees to have to declare?
Their class.
Their class, yes. Or their class. Is it? Which is it? Oh, no. I'll give myself away, haven't I? Their class.
There's 2 ways I definitely can find out if someone's working class in public sector jobs. One, put bingo pens in the stationery office. If they go, you know they're in. The other one is put on a coat strip, because my aunties, they'll go to Syria if there's a rest stop and a tour guide. Love a coat strip. Anyway.
Middle-class people don't want to self-identify as middle class. They, middle class want to be, because it's more authentic. Where it's, middle class is such a bland state of affairs.
It's not bland, is it? Have you tasted some of their food? What kind of flavours going on in there? It's not bland being middle class.
Have you mistaken middle class for Indian? The naan's incredible.
We call them nans. We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig, and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey. Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot.
Vegetable goulash.
Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have scooped that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." It's not scooped. He's not vegan. He's eating cream over here. I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham.
Oh, we're such great mates.
It's a natural banter, which is why we put 5 people in between the two of you.
The next topic is America. Who wants to come in? Andy.
Well, their president is an idiot. That's all I've got on that one. No, this is the man, right? He wants to try and put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon. Now, the moon is 378,000 kilometres away. Mars, 78 million kilometres away. Trying to put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon is like going to New Zealand by building a stopping-off station at the end of your bloody garden.
Thank you very much, Andy. The subject is junk food. Russell.
Hello. Am I allowed to take this out? Or do I have to...
Go for it.
Slick. There was an amazing thing the other day. Apparently 15% of 2 to 11-year-olds in England are now obese, and the government's going to ban telly adverts of junk food till 9 o'clock so the kids can't watch. And you find yourself screaming at the telly, if your 2-year-old's obese, that isn't telly's fault, that's your fault. How can you possibly ban the adverts? Ban your fanny until you can look after what plops out of it. That is unbelievable. There's ways and means. My dad invented something, right, to make us eat our dinner. My sister would never eat it. She was like, no, it looks disgusting, Dad, no way to eat it, right? My dad invented something called the dinner witch. So, my sister was like, it looks disgusting. My dad would wink at me. I'd pop outside, ding-dong on the doorbell. My dad would then look into my sister's 8-year-old face and go, oh, Kerry, who could that be? During dinner time, with your plate still so full. And I suppose it could be the dinner witch. At which point, my sister would like, slick.
Charles Clark, away you go.
Exactly what I was hoping to get. Charles Clark, a man who's just been having a go at Gordon Brown, also having a go in the last 6 weeks at Tony Blair. Of course, this was the idiot, ladies and gentlemen, who actually mucked up with the foreign prisoners and deportation. He said he became aware of the problem in July 2005, but he only became fully aware of the problem in October 2005. Now, I don't know about you, if you've got a problem, how long it might take you to go from being aware of the problem to being fully aware of the problem. If it took you more than a day, you're probably quite disappointed. If it took you 4 months, you'd have thought he might have resigned straight away. Maybe that's why he's been having a go at Gordon Brown and Tony Blair over the last few weeks. He's only just become fully aware that he's been given the bloody sack.
Protest marches. Who's up first? Any come in and protest?
Yeah.
Russell.
OK. The only protest march I went on the Countryside Alliance March. I'm not pro or anti-fox hunting. I just quite like watching posh people get beaten up. I know it's wrong, but if you can find me a more glorious noise than then I'll happily listen. Come on, it's going to be fun, isn't it? And it's just so much fun baiting right-wing people. What do you think about fox hunting? I'll tell you what I think. If we didn't chase the fox, the entire bloody country would be overpopulated by foxes. Is that what you want, some hideous land of the foxes? Me, unable to leave my house if you're a fox, wandering up to me, stabbing me in the gizzards? Is that what you desire? Looking across my lawn to see fox upon fox, prowling along my paddock, flicking the V's at me, walking hand in hand with asylum seekers? Is that what you want?
Very good, Russell. Well done, Russell Howard. It's transport. Away you go.
Now, we have had bus lanes, we have had cycle lanes, we have a new initiative, combined bus and cycle lanes. What a crap idea that is. If there are two things that should never go together, it would be like having a path in the jungle for walkers and lions. You may also have seen that on our public transport system we now have an advertising campaign. Please ask, is this your bag, to stop unattended packages? Now, quite who you're supposed to ask, is this your bag too, if the package is genuinely unattended. But as I remember rightly, the problem with the London bombings was not with unattended packages. The problem was very much with packages which were fricking attended. You'll hardly like to go up to somebody wearing a rucksack and go, is this your bag?
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that.
Russell.
My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed entirely in latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
Russell Howard, well done. The next topic is religion. Andy steps to the mic.
Muslims do take their religion very seriously, I think at least in part because they have to pray 5 times a day. Anything you've got to do 5 times a day, you tend to take pretty seriously. We are all supposed to eat 5 fruit and veg every day. Now, we struggle to do that, don't we? Now imagine you had to eat those 5 fruit and veg at set times every day when some bloke up a tower started wailing fruit and veg at you. At which point you had to start reciting various passages from Delia Smith's healthy cookbook whilst pointing in the direction of Norwich.
Very good, Andy Parson. OK, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, "Toot if you're anti-war." And if you drive past her and go, "Ha," she does this. Now, I'm not sure, I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go, "Why am I doing this? Ha, stop it! Nah, do it!" They're everywhere, they're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day, you know, one of those religious godbotherers, it's fantastic, just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people running, "You're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell." Everyone was freaked out, 2 goths delighted, that's a separate issue, but... He pointed at me and I was freaked out, and then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at it, went, "You're going to hell." Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, "No, mate, HMV." And he just sat there going, "Oh, oh."
Well done, Russell Howard. It's health. Away you go.
Now, once again, they've been having a go this week, haven't they, about skinny models, saying that they give us a bad body image. Now, I'm not sure we're quite that insecure, are we? You know, I see a skinny model, I don't think, "Oh, I better go on a diet." I think, "Oh, there's a skinny model, I bet they're hungry. I think I'll have a pie."
And it's childhood.
So, I found this out this week, right, that we're giving happiness tests for 6-year-old kids. How ridiculous is that? My friend Wendy's a teacher. Twice a year, there you go. "Are you happy? I've eaten my crayons." Which made me happy, so swings and roundabouts, really. Which I also like. It's just the most ridiculous idea. Some bloke writes, "This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What makes you happy? You! Sneezing. You! I quite like tickling people. You! I like putting marbles up my brother's bum." Now, don't judge me. I did that once. I'm not showing off, but when you're 8 and your little brother's 6, the power you have is incredible. You've got to put some marbles up your bum. Why? If we get enough in there, you turn into a wizard. Oh, fill me up, fill me up. I will.
Well done, Russell. The first topic is transport. Andy.
Trains are overcrowded, but of course the train companies, they've got an answer for that, haven't they? What do they say? Well, they say, well, actually, overcrowding is quite a good safety measure because apparently during the Cannon Street rail crash, those passengers that were stood up like sardines, they were less badly injured than the ones who were sat down. Now, how can you justify something that's only any good in the event of a crash? And what are you supposed to do if your train isn't very crowded? Are you supposed to stand unnaturally close to people, going, I'm terribly sorry about this, but in the event of a crash, apparently, you're my airbag?
Well done, Andy Parsons. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against a desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. I'm not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, hey, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quick.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. And the topic is joy.
Two very giddy albinos there. Like, do you know what gives me joy? People who are a bit different. I fell in love with my friend Tom, age 5. He stood up in the middle of a nativity play and went, well, enough's enough. What made it even better, he was the front end of a donkey. I like noises as well. I heard this in a supermarket the other day. Whee! I thought, I'm following that, right? It was an old man skidding on a trolley. He'd done the trolley gauntlet, just whee! Just this blur of giddy wrinkles. What made it even better, a security guard stopped him and went, oi, I've told you. How can that not make you happy? And sometimes we laugh at stuff that we shouldn't. Like, I was in a pub recently, I saw a full-size Jenga topple onto a pissed dwarf. Now, the head says no, the belly says yes! Laugh, Russell! Before the bricks hit his tiny face, he went, bloody hell. A bloke 2 seats along went, that was like 9/11. You're there going, oh, God.
Thank you very much, Russell. Andy, on the topic of smoking.
Yes. Now, the government, they've made a bit of a muck of this smoking ban. Basically, it looks like in England that they're only going to ban smoking in those pubs that serve food. So a lot of pubs in England have said, well, in which case we're going to ban food and keep smoking. You're now going to have to go outside for a pie. You're going to have occasional eaters nipping outside, trying to scrounge a spare lasagna. Of course, people are desperately trying to find out different ways of giving up smoking. You know, various things like acupuncture, of course, where people stick needles into people to make people feel better. As opposed, of course, to voodoo, where people stick needles into things that look like people, make people feel worse. Now, I was wondering, right, if you had a pair of identical twins and one of them had acupuncture, is the other one in a bit of trouble?
And it's etiquette.
I'm quite a socially awkward bloke. Oh, thanks for laughing at just that. I saw a girl on a train recently and she was eating a yoghurt, and for some reason my brain thought it would be a good idea to go, you know, that's very good for thrush. Like, she'd suddenly go, oh, sit down, stranger. I can't help it. I drift in. Like, I was at a museum the other day. Everyone said, don't take photos, and I was taking a photo. A 9-year-old girl arrives, goes, what are you doing? I'm taking a photo. She ran off. I'm off to tell the man. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is chasing a 9-year-old girl across a museum going, don't tell the man, don't tell the man. Added to the fact that when you catch her, you've got to go, I'll delete the photo. That doesn't look good.
Thank you very much. Welcome. I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, right, I don't wear any clothes in bed. That's all I've got on that one. The reason, of course, right, if anybody breaks in, I figure I'm a little more scary in the altogether than I would be if I was wearing my paisley pyjamas. Obviously, I'd be even scarier wearing a gimp mask. Going, I'm so glad you've broken in. I've been looking forward to this moment for many years.
The subject is young people.
Russell. Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat. He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers. Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much. Welcome. The subject is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
So, drugs. The Home Office have in fact clarified apparently how many spliffs you can have on your person before you might be regarded as a dealer. Apparently the answer is 500. That's a fair amount of personal use, isn't it? You would have thought you could have 500 almost anything on you and be regarded as a dealer. If I had 500 hobnobs on me, I think you could regard me as pushing biscuits. Not that I know that much about drugs, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently the current trend amongst young people is to have an upper followed straight away by a downer just to take the edge off it. Why not just take a bit less of the upper? That to me would be like having a Red Bull and then having a Horlicks straight away afterwards.
Well done, Andy. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular. And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. Like, His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, that'll be my bloody boy! Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public? And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. Dad, your willy's moving? You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. It's education.
I am a little disappointed. I was hoping to get England as a topic. But yes, education. You may have seen that, in fact, our kids are now going to get taught atheism in the classroom. You would have thought that should be a fairly short lesson, wouldn't you? Hello, come in. There is no God. Same time next week.
The next topic is the consumer society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, why not try a guilt-free wrap? You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest things in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, ooh, yawn rape, and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape. And now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an old yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, it's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it? And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell.
Nits.
It's nits. It's super nits.
Yeah. I'll tell you why they've got too many nits. Is because they're all sharing the same hat to decide which house they're in.
I feel bad about not knowing this, except it is from a children's book.
Oh, it's about 40 pages into book one. Knock yourself out. I'm not going deep on Order of the Phoenix here.
Whereas something like Robot Wars is really adult, isn't it?
Sorry, no, nits. What's the right way?
Apparently they're quite resistant to you know, the shampoos that used to kill them in our day.
Back in the day.
Although I don't think even you had to worry.
I lovely lustrous hair.
Walking around like a housing estate for the nits. So
now you're walking around like a country estate.
Too many burns coming across me. I'm getting singed.
I think people need to adjust their thinking when it comes to nits and just don't think of them as something you need to kill. Think of them as like pets. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, if a kid comes home from school with the guinea pig, you don't go, kill it! Oh, it's resistant to this particular tennis racket. No. You go, oh, look, guinea pigs. You think of it the same thing with nits. You go, no, look, it's great. No, that's not an infestation. That's a flea circus.
Yeah, but the difference is the guinea pig is in a tank. It's not hiding up your arse. Like, the nits are a parasite. They're actually on your system. You can't go, we're having a little fun thing here.
And then it makes you scratch, makes you look thoughtful.
I wasn't allowed pets. I would have loved it when I was little. The best I could do was I got a fly, right, dunked it in some water, ripped out one of my hairs, tied it to the fly. When it dried out, I had a fly on a lead. That was my pet.
And she went to a grammar school.
At the end of that round, the points go to Romashed and Ivo. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
Is it British Games Much Crapper?
Is it Bottled Gas Meets Cigarette?
I know this one, actually. It's Barry George, Merry Christmas.
Is it Badger's Grenade Mouse Compound?
That's a very large mouse compound, isn't it? I didn't know the mice were capable of that, and it's all gone to nothing because of the badger's attack.
I didn't know the badgers were capable of that. That's appalling. They grenaded it,
The
for
thing
God's
is,
sake. This is truly an escalation.
The thing is, Dara, you anger a badger, it will do anything. I saw a pensioner punch a badger in the face. Within seconds, no skin.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, the badger going and sourcing grenades is the bit I find particularly
I'll be honest with you, it was a joke. I'm now being held accountable for something.
Let me get this straight. You anger a badger to make it do anything? Because for years I've been playing them Barry White. And...
We once had a badger run over outside the house.
You had him run over?
No,
what
no,
kind
no.
of...
No.
Yeah.
There was a badger.
What kind of butler have you got?
A badger
Have
was...
him run over for me.
No.
We shall sit in a throne and watch this.
You're like the godfather of the vermin world.
A badger was run over outside the house, and my parents were staying, and this badger obviously had to be killed, put down, to put it out of its pain. And all my father could find was a big stick. So he went outside and he had to hit the badger repeatedly with this big stick. And this is remembered by my son, because it was explained to him like this, as the time Grandad made the badger better with the stick.
Are you sure that's actually what happened?
At the point the badger has been run over, and then this old guy comes up and tries to finish it off with a stick.
It freaks my dad out, actually, thinking about it. It's horrible.
Your dad gets badger flashback.
Just big black and white and white and black and black and white and then red. Black, white, red all over.
Turn off Wind in the Willows! Turn off Wind in the Willows!
Spin the wheel. The first subject is travel. Miles.
Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with trains. It's the quiet coach, OK? Quiet, that is an adjective. It doesn't go far enough. Quiet is an adjective. It should be called the silent coach. Shouldn't it? The silent coach. No one would have any trouble understanding that. It's the silent coach, right? You can't talk on it, you can't use your laptop, children can't travel on it, you can't eat crisps, and crucially, they, the train people, they wouldn't be allowed to make announcements. Because the sort of people that have the mentality to travel on the quiet coach, which is the correct mentality, are the sort of people who check where the train is going before they bloody get on it. For years, we've just not got these things right. You, mock the weak audience, you're exactly the sort of people that know what I'm talking about. In Russia, during the revolution, right? During the Russian Revolution, the Russian army was able to travel to all of its battles by train. During a revolution, they were still able to rely on public transport. Imagine if we had a revolution now and the army had to rely on transport, we'd be buggered, wouldn't we? Certainly those of us who wanted the army to win. Absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? Marston Moor 2016 kicked off. You know, the British Army turning up 7 hours late to every single conflict. You know, oh, sorry, there were leaves on the line at Stevenage. There was a passenger action at Crewe. We were going to be joined by the SAS, but they've been stuck on a rail replacement bus service in Horrible.
Thank you very much, Miles. OK, now leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a Grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. Apparently all Chinese children who are learning to play the piano know a tune called Knife and Fork. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. For Nando's. When I was at school and it rained, we used to have to stay in for wet play. And when it was cold, we used to have to stay in and listen to this really dull band. AD 79. Julius Caesar receives the first ever weather forecast. Hail Caesar.
Jones, come on.
Things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
In that episode of the Hugh Dennis story, Hugh Dennis was played by Bruce Willis, Steve Punt was played by Hugh Dennis, and the band was Shawaddy Waddy.
You touch my turnips and I'll fuck you up.
And now for a travel update. There is an accident on the M1. It's a good one, so hurry up. There's flames and everything.
Next, a book at bedtime. Martin Jarvis reads the speeches of Hitler in a high-pitched girl's voice.
Good afternoon, this is Radio 4 and I have a regional accent.
Next on Radio 4, the dogging forecast.
Here on Traffic Watch, we're predicting long delays on the M4, where I'm about to hit my ex-wife's car with this helicopter.
And now it's the panel show where our panel try to stave off premature ejaculation. Yes, it's just a minute.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Tony Blackburn. I'm not actually on the radio, I've broken into your kitchen. Do you want toast?
Next, more lesbian propaganda with Woman's Hour.
Well, you've certainly stumped the Gardener's Question Time panel. None of us know how to bring a fox to orgasm.
You're listening to Heart FM. The same 5 songs all day long.
"6 a.m, welcome to the breakfast show. Who's up at 6 a.m? My wife's leaving me. My dad didn't get up at 6 a.m. and he was a fucking minor.
OK, getting that round the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael.
The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a news programme.
As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker.
According to statistics, the French economy is now the weakest growing of all the economies in Europe.
Sport now, all Manchester United fans, please look away.
You've reached Al Jazeera News, which means you're only 20 channels away from actually finding porn.
Here, you'll never guess who's dead.
Just time now to see what the papers say.
We will now attempt to talk to the survivors of the cliff fall. You all right, mate?
After the fire in the aromatherapy candle factory, the situation is now calm.
And now over to our foreign correspondent. Do you speak English?
Now it's time for the news near you.
Hello!
There are human remains on the blood-stained streets and the despair in the eyes of everyone you meet. Rob Beckett for BBC News, Magaluf.
There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory.
Now it's over to our toys and games correspondent, Natasha Kaplunksky.
And eventually the sun will go supernova, the earth will become dark and frozen, and everyone will die. That was the long-range weather forecast.
To my right, in my peripheral vision, Andy Parsons is showing us his penis. More on that as it unfolds.
We go over now to our vegan correspondent. I'm terribly sorry. He appears to have gone strawberry.
And David Cameron has delivered on all his promises to the Scottish people.
Just time for a quick look at tomorrow's papers. So the Times and the Telegraph lead with industrial strife, and in the Sun we can see that Caroline from Dagenham has got a terrific pair of norks.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way over to the performance area. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is questions that were rejected from this year's exams.
If the answer is 9, what is the question?
When you finish this exam, please will you turn your paper over and mark it.
Using Darwin's theory of evolution, explain Boris Johnson.
By the year 2015, the population of the Earth will have increased by 20%. How do we find Kerry Katona and stop her?
Complete the following sequence. 16, 35, 24, 8, 9. Now open the safe, grab the stuff and get in the getaway car.
If an object is travelling at 750 miles an hour, encounters resistance and slows to 0, for how many months will Richard Hammond have to wear nappies?
On the diagram below, show on the body where you like to be touched.
Describe Uranus without telling your parents.
Amy is 16. At least she said she was. How much trouble are you in?
Complete this crop rotation. Wheat, fallow, rock festival, BNP rally.
If everybody in Class A is called Tom, Thomas or Tommy, and every second boy in Class B is called Tim, Timothy or Timmy, what the fuck is going on?
Things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
Mime.
I'm sorry for that small pause just at the end of that record there. Only my shit took slightly longer than I expected.
This is Top DJs of the 1970s. Prison radio has never sounded so good.
A hideous car crash has occurred at the end of the A19. It's called Doncaster.
Another shipping forecast.
issued by the Met Office at 2343 on Saturday the 8th. It's going to piss it down.
You're listening to BBC Wiltshire because your car radio has lost reception to what you were listening to.
And next up on the Archers, there's an axe murderer on the loose. Not really. Someone has an argument with their housekeeper.
Travel news. A coachload of origami enthusiasts has broken down on the M1, and they're all currently sat on the hard shoulder making paper models of cars. Traffic is described as stationary.
You're listening to Saga Radio. You're listening...
Lidl, Aldi, later Tesco. This concludes shopping forecast.
Have you been injured at work? Maybe you should turn the radio off and concentrate properly on what you're doing.
But you're dead. We're all dead. We've all been dead from the beginning. You've been listening to the final ever episode of The Archers.
Next up on Gardener's Question Time, I'll be trying not to laugh like a schoolboy when a woman phones in with a problem about her box hedge.
Due to tomorrow's BBC strike, tomorrow's Today programme will be today's Today programme, but called Yesterday.
Sometimes when you listen to the radio, there's a tune that you can't get out of your head. It sort of plays again and again and again. It sort of gets faster and faster and faster, and finally it comes on.
Okay, give that round of applause to James, Sarah and Andy.
They've given the Spanish banks 100 billion euros. I don't think you should be giving Spanish banks 100 billion euros, not given the number of British bank robbers currently living in Spain.
It's not going to arrive in one van.
A lot of it's going to a bank called Bankia, isn't there? It sounds like a bank from a children's programme, doesn't it?
It is difficult to take the economies of countries seriously where the word bank is written as banco. It is generally easier to think that they probably don't do it. Hey, Benvenidos, el banco! Banco, bank.
This accent's all right, is it, Doris?
I'm sorry. To be honest, Dara, you've been doing a ridiculous accent since the beginning of this series.
No, but Dara, it does help when you go on holiday there, though, doesn't it? Because, you know, even someone like me, I walk along and I go, supermercado. I reckon that's the supermarket. Banco, that'll be the bank. Baro, bar. Got half a chance. You've been to Japan? Nothing. I give you nothing. You walk about, you don't know what you're doing. I was in the bank the other day, this is absolute truth, and a man had a shit on the floor. It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. He just shook it out the
That
bottom
is
of his
one
trousers.
hell of a deposit that he has made.
He probably normally does all of his banking on the internet, but he couldn't log on that day.
Anyone have the correct answer?
Yes. This is Donald Trump, and he's here for a NATO summit.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yes, this is US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania. This is the news that the Trumps visit the UK this week for the 70th anniversary NATO summit held in London. Were you following the summit?
Oh, avidly.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
Everyone was only allowed 4 minutes to speak.
Yes.
Presumably
yeah.
they had a Mock the Week buzzer to...
They did. And then at the end, Nish Kumar came on, they threw bread at it.
I probably had 3 hours at a hotel in Watford, didn't they? And I thought, if anything's going to make you reach for the nuclear button, it's going to be 3 hours in Watford. Staring out the window going, what are we even protecting? You know, the Harlequin shopping centre.
To be fair to Watford, the Harry Potter experience is quite close to Watford, but the only reason they didn't have it there is Boris was worried he'd be mistaken for a fat Malfoy.
I once had the walk from Watford from the train station to the theatre where you do your show there, Watford, and I wrote down 5 different nightclub names because they were all amazing. Watford has, I can't remember all of them, but I remember the one called Prism. With a Y, P-R-Y.
Oh, class, that's classy.
Full I mean, Scrabble scores huge on Prism.
Can we all go up for that?
No, I don't like it that much.
The amazing thing is that they had it at Watford, this, like, golf resort hotel, which is just so incongruent. That's, like, one posh thing and one shit thing. I might as well have done it at Monte Carlo Leisure Centre.
It's nice to have it at a golf hotel with Trump there. He's going to be so easily distracted.
It has to be.
With golf right in front of him. It's like trying to have a meeting with David Cameron at a hog roast.
So they've got to have it in Watford. Try getting a table for 29 in London this near Christmas. You got no chance. You'd have to go to Wagamama's at 9 a.m.
Why are we hosting this? Like, we're falling apart. We're having a general election.
Yeah.
It's nearly Brexit. The royal family's gone off the rails. Why are we hosting? It's like going to someone's house for Christmas. It's kind of boring. She's just... Her husband's left her. The boiler's packed up. She won't stop crying. Let's go round there for lunch.
How did tensions affect the schedule for the summit?
Macron said that NATO was brain dead.
Yeah.
Right, and then the Turkish president said, actually, no, it is you who is brain dead. So I'm mad that these are, like, the biggest leaders in the world. And the argument is still, I know you are, but what am I? We are 2 steps away from the Turkish president going, look, we're all being a bit immature. I think the way to solve this is dickhead says what?
OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Let the proton see the electron.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
So, what else? In other health news? What health initiative is coming into schools?
Michael Gove saying school lunches should be banned because apparently only 1% of them meet the nutritional requirements that school dinners are supposed to have.
Yes, that is generally the gist of it,
That's
right?
the
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
I don't have a joke.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But it's only 1% of. I mean, what are people?
I don't like the story anyway. Is it just me? I don't want to think about Michael Gove's lunchbox. I just don't want to think about it.
Well, I'm sorry. I presume people put it. What are people putting into it? Like they're only 1%.
Well, not the kind of stuff. You see, this seems to me a very unfair story because they're saying that packed lunches are very unhealthy compared with school lunches, but they're not. I mean, when I only ever had packed lunches. I had brown bread sandwiches. I had 2 cubes of jelly.
What?
Yeah.
Jelly that wasn't
jelly
made?
that wasn't made, because my mum didn't like giving us chocolate or sweets or something.
The dense-
she used to
the
cut
dense
up
jelly.
Yeah.
Oh.
She used to cut up a jelly, you know, the cube that you make it from, and give me 2 bits of it.
It's like
And it was really, really nice. But for the rest of the day after I'd had it, I was always slightly worried that it might turn into jelly.
Just a huge-shaped...
If you drank a glass of water, it would sort of go...
Just split apart and there'd be a huge-shaped jelly there. It didn't matter, the biggest jelly baby in the world.
I also did point out to you that you also said you had brown bread sandwiches. Do you mean like 2 slices of brown bread with a slice of brown bread?
You have to.
I mean, how can packed lunches have only 1% of the nutritional requirement of a school dinner? What are people putting in these packed lunches? Is it like a large sandwich and a sugar cube? And I think some of the kids must be so stupid, they're actually eating the plastic box.
I thought parents have more control.
No, but they do. The problem is parents do have control. Every time they try and solve this problem, the parents get in the way. When Jamie Oliver tried it, right, tried to get rid of turkey twizzlers, put healthy food in schools, so mum's at the school gate passing packets of chips through to their children. If you want to solve this problem, it's not a policy thing. Just make the railings thinner so they can't shove the massive hand... Sandra, you're going to have to put your face right up and eat a feed into your individual. You know which kids it was? They're going after lunch with shiny lips and 2 rust lines down the face.
I have to, you're making an excellent point, but you said turkey twizzlers. I genuinely thought you said when they tried to get rid of Turkish prisoners. Why are Turkish prisoners feeding children in school?
Because they are getting their
for the rest of that. For the whole thing, I was going, well, one of them is called Sandra.
And that really is the clue as to the likelihood that I didn't actually say that.
Yeah, I suppose.
You put it that way, it makes more sense.
They're suggesting that teachers should eat with the kids. But the thing is that, you know, a lot of teachers do currently eat with the kids, although it's usually in the form of a romantic meal, isn't it?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, DVD owner.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely film trailers.
A man who only wants one thing. Strepsils.
In his toughest assignment yet, Peter Parker has to pick a peck of pickled peppercorn.
Drama, intrigue, romance, gardening, spoons, all these and other words in Dictionary the movie.
All your favourite administrators are back in Human Resources 2. This time it's personnel.
When a hairpiece gets possessed by the devil, there'll be hell to pay.
He loves sex, but he has no arms. Which position will he choose? Missionary impossible.
If you see one film this year, then you're probably a new parent.
It was a love story that crossed the species barrier. He was a man, she was a cow. Coming soon, Beef Encounter.
Coming soon, a 3D film where you don't get bored halfway through and lift up the glasses just to see what the screen looks like without it.
Every Year I Love You More, starring Michael Jackson and Benjamin Button.
Coming soon, a story of premature ejaculation.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Brilliant, The Times. 5 stars, The Guardian. The beds weren't made, TripAdvisor.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop. Thank you very much.
A group of Greeks try to get away with their money. Chicken Run.
My Dad Pictures presents. Your man. I know him from something. Anyway, him. And a woman. I think she was in here. Maybe it was House. She was definitely a doctor. Join forces to fight. I know him. He's gone awful old looking, hasn't he?
It's the bromance of the year. Ed and David Miliband star in What the Fuck Was the Point of That Then?
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nish, which category would you like?
I'll go for politics, Dara, because I'm a clever boy.
You gosh, Swat. OK. Your category...
You're on the wrong show.
Yeah. OK, let's give it a go, shall we? Your category is politics. The answer is 4%. What is the question?
Is this the percentage of people who enjoyed a comedy gig I did in Greenwich in December of last year?
We've all had those shows.
Yeah, I was at that, and that was not 4%.
I didn't see it, but what are the chances of Johnny Depp appearing on the next series of Mr. and Mrs.?
Is it how much of the old Top Gear audience has Chris Evans held on to?
Including that.
Clarkson's in?
Is it by 2017 what proportion of celebrities will still be alive?
I know. Ooh, we're not the one killing them.
Is it the amount of hair that Donald Trump has managed to spread across his entire head?
What are Sepp Blatter's chances of going to heaven?
Is it, despite claiming it's my favourite book, how much have I read of Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom?
Nothing against Nelson Mandela, but he kind of gave away the ending in the title. It's kind of... You were left in no doubt during the long Robben Island bits.
You think it should have been called Locked Up? Question mark.
Simple. Or Long Walk to Freedom.
Is it How Deep Is Your Love?
That's not deep enough, is it? By the way, just
No, just speaking for all the ladies, 4% is not deep enough.
Julie Norbert.
Do you know what? I've never learned anything from this show, but there's a first time for anything, isn't there?
Is it what was the turnout at the annual conference of the Apathy Society? It's always tricky.
They were reportedly very happy.
I like the fact that round of applause was really half-assed as well.
Is it how much of my foot could I fit into one of Josh Widdicombe's little shoes?
Size 9.
Ladies.
Oh, 9.
Yeah, children, so I don't have to pay VAT on my shoes.
I'll have you know those are the exact plimsolls that Nelson Mandela wore on his long walk.
Does anyone have the correct answer
Yes.
for why? Yes.
How much of my Sunday paper wasn't about Muhammad Ali?
No, it's in a recent poll, how much was the Leave campaign beating the Remain campaign?
That's absolutely right. Thank you very much, Josh Whittaker. Yes. Here is a picture of England manager Roy Hodgson, but can anyone sum this up with a phrase?
Is it the world's most disappointing lap dance?
Is he saying Richmond, Rickmansworth, Rayners Lane? Thank goodness I'm going to Wembley.
Waiting in the tunnel before the game, Roy Hodgson begins to suspect he may be in the wrong tunnel.
Looking at the whole picture, is it the London Underground where sexy singles meet?
Is it when he took the job and they said he could have a driver to take him to matches? He should have asked a few more questions.
Are they saying we apologise for the delay? Luis Suarez has dived in front of the train.
Whoops, I've just put a yellow javelin through this man's head.
What was the story with him?
Well, he was on the tube, and he was on his way to the Emirates, and someone asked him a question, and he broke the unwritten code of talking to people on the tube. You never ever do. You're not allowed to do that. If you're a Londoner, you simply do not talk to people on the tube unless you've got a dog.
It wasn't that people were angry that he'd given away any confidence about the selection and non-selection of Rio Ferdinand. It was just that he broke the beautiful rule of...
You don't talk to people on the tube. On the tube, you have to sit like this.
Oh, now I recognise you. Can I borrow your Metro? Thanks.
Surely it was just a misunderstanding. Somebody said to Roy Hodgson...
So he hasn't arrived at his destination yet. We're sort of hoping he arrives soon.
Might stop.
He said that he's never going to talk to anyone on the tube again. I want to be there when a tourist comes up to him and goes, is this Marble Arch? And he has to go...
Well, it's the only way they'll learn. We'll have to go through that. Hello, Londoner. I'm just home from Ireland. I was wondering what train I should... Oh, you're going? OK. I'll try another one.
I would talk to you, Mr. O'Brien.
Yeah.
I would take you to your destination and carry your bags.
Thank you very much. Well, you are a foreigner. I've been here too long, and now I shun you as well. Hello.
Dara, I'll pretend I'm on a tube. Ask me a question.
Hello, sir. I was wondering if you knew this is the perfect place to change for the Jubilee line.
Excuse me, I was wondering if this is the right place for... I want to get to Buckingham Palace.
It's shameful. This man is a pioneer, the first man ever to speak on the tube. And your people, instead of lifting him up, you punish him by making him coach your football team.
The points go to Josh, Catherine and Andy. Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Muscle Tov!
Why are we having this conference in Blackpool? 2 words: cheap cocaine.
Jeremy Hunt is having a heart attack. Is there a doctor in the house? Why are you laughing?
So, We'll be having one speech from a Remainer, a speech from a Brexiteer, another speech from a Remainer, another speech from a Brexiteer, and then Boris Johnson will drop his trousers. So that's in, out, shake it all about.
What this conference has taught me is this party needs more women, because the hotel bar last night was an absolute sausage fest.
Welcome, delegates, to this year's Liberal Democrat Conference. Conference.
So to those who say we have alienated too many groups in society to get elected, let me say this. Fuck off. I know some of you have been challenging my leadership, and to you I say, bring it on, you ball bags.
Some have said that the Labour Party has lost contact with its working-class roots. But I say to these people the same thing I said to my driver this morning. Do not address me directly.
So, now we've sorted out Brexit.
They told us Brexit was undeliverable. They told us Brexit was unworkable. But where are they now? They are outside with banners saying, I told you so.
Right, it's the Green Party conference, and now it's time to break for lunch. Who ordered the veal?
I'm afraid Rees-Mogg can't be with us today. Someone hung garlic at the threshold and he can't pass through. So everything is still on the table. Why has no one cleared the table?
It's incredible to think that some people think of us as a cult. Anyway, could you all just line up while Jeremy Corbyn chooses his wives?
Of course the Tories are like regular people. You should have seen us in the bar last night. Giles's wet nurse downed a whole bottle of port.
We have had soft Brexit. We have had hard Brexit, but now we have a more digestible alternative. Ready Brexit.
Now we play a round called Mock the 9 o'clock news. This game involves Zoe, Stuart, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and then you can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is finance. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
British Airways, their answer to the credit crunch, they've asked their employees, can you come into work for nothing for a month or take a month off unpaid? There's a tricky choice, isn't there? And who is going to want to fly British Airways? The last thing you want to hear when you get on the plane, this is your captain speaking. I'm not being paid today. Good luck. I am looking forward to seeing the credit crunch version of Monopoly. You know, instead of getting £1,500 from the bank, you have to lend the bank £1,500. And then everybody keeps on going round the board with nobody buying any property whatsoever because they always think it's going to be cheaper next time they go around.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is Sarah Palin. Who wants to talk about that?
Ah, Sarah Palin. She was apparently an ex-beauty queen of a town in Alaska called Wasilla. And the press were very keen on this. They kept saying, you know, the beauty queen, Sarah Palin, the ex-beauty queen, the beauty queen, Sarah Palin. Let me tell you something, people. Wasilla is a very, very small town. Population 8, possibly 9,000 people at the best of times. To call it a one-horse town is to over-exaggerate the number of horses in that town by one. They timeshare a horse with another shithole down the road. Now, my brother used to live in Anchorage, Alaska, and I have been to Wasilla, and in the 5 minutes it took us to drive across Wasilla, I was voted beauty queen of Wasilla. It was no big deal, honestly. An otter and a caribou came second and third, respect.
Thank you very much, Joey. That leaves us with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You can see that, mate. This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. When you draw the curtains, we've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm Russell!
OK, Stuart, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Zoe and Stuart. Now we play a round called Netflix and Chilcot. This game involves Loiso and Milton. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's have the first topic, please. The first subject is politics. Who shall come in on politics? Loiso.
So you guys are all worried about your prime ministers and that kind of stuff. I'd say calm down. Because I'm from South Africa, and the guy who's the head of state now was facing 763 charges before he became the president. That's a lot of crime. You have to break the law every day for 2 years. Because you guys are, I mean, we had a great president, our first democratically elected president, President Nelson Mandela. And I had the opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela. He came up to me. I was a young lad. I think I was about 12 and stuff. And he came up to me and said, young man, would you like me to tell you a joke? I said, yeah, go ahead. It's your country. Knock, knock. I said, who's there? Who else speaks like this? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lito. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been got. Let's spin the wheel. And it's jobs. Milton.
Have you noticed that if you Google the phrase lost medieval servant boy, it says this page cannot be found? Some of you are going to be doing that tomorrow. I think if I was opening a Pizza Express, I'd open it next to a Vision Express, so we got some of their customers by mistake. I think if I had unlimited money, I'd hire 2 private investigators and get them to follow each other. Do you ever get that thing where you think someone's probably definitely wearing a wig, and you think to yourself, I'm sorry, Your Honour. I'm a bit of a lazy writer, according to my children, QWERTY and F12. Being a PE teacher, that's easy, isn't it? Shiny. I teach running. Run. I teach swimming. Swim. And a tiny, tiny little bit of geography. Jog. Thank you, Max.
That's one. Post there, go to Niven Jones. Come back, both of you. Unlikely things for a vet to say.
Of course your monkey's got diabetes. You've been feeding him Cocoa Pops for 20 years.
I know it's expensive, Mrs. Smith, but if you want your cat put down, you're going to have to make 9 appointments.
No, I'm afraid Timmy won't be coming out of hibernation soon, and that's because he's not actually a tortoise, he's a Freibentos pie.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut open the stomach of your Rottweiler, and hopefully I'll have both of us out of here in no time whatsoever.
Ah, if only they could talk, I'd be in prison.
The bad news is we've had to chop off one of Fido's legs, but the good news is you put roller skates on him. That's 3 million hits on YouTube right there.
You're right, Mrs. Thomas. This is the first beaver I've seen. Now, what pet have you brought in?
The good news is your snake has survived. The bad news is he's never going to walk again.
Well, sir, if you think this treatment is too expensive, I suggest you get your meerkat to find somewhere cheaper.
Well, yes, your horse is a little bit overweight, but it's nothing to worry about. Oh, it's a dog.
We just had the test results back on the cows, and it's not good, I'm afraid. They're 10% horse meat.
I'm afraid it's dead, Mr. Forsyth, but I would say maybe you shouldn't have kept it on your head for so long.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to put your dog down. Rover, you're a fat, lazy arsehole who couldn't catch a stick to save his life.
Mr. Johnson, you spoil that dog. Not only are you overfeeding him, but he's quite capable of licking his own balls.
At the end of that round, the points go to Chris, Hugh and Gary. In other news, who's making a surprise appearance on Strictly?
Ed Balls.
Ed Balls is. Yes, he is.
It's not a surprise.
No, it was
is
announced
it?
months
Because he
ago.
did announce it months ago.
I don't know why. The word was in it, I just read it. It was a bit of a fuck you, San Diego moment. Sorry. Shall we do it again without that word in it? It would be fine. Yes. Speaking of Labour, who's making an appearance in the current series of Strictly?
Well, it's quite a surprise. It was Ed Balls.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, I would.
In a blue tuxedo as well. Do you know who else is getting a blue tuxedo?
You.
Yes. I was buying myself a blue tuxedo recently, and I had already just paid the money for it, and then I see Ed Balls ruining blue tuxedos forever.
When would you wear a blue tuxedo?
Do you know for events in which you have to wear a tuxedo?
Yeah, but isn't it all black? That's black tie events.
Yeah, the tie is still black, but the tuxedo is blue.
Oh, okay.
A lot of politicians are good at dancing, although Desmond Tutu wasn't wearing what I thought he was going to wear.
Would you do Strictly?
No, I wouldn't because I got a dodgy knee anyway. But so I couldn't do it.
I got asked to do Splash.
You got to Splash. That is a lot easier.
Oh God, I can't think of anything worse. To be fair, you shouldn't slug off reality shows and stuff like that because you're only ever 4 Eastern European rent boys away from doing one, aren't you? So...
That footage of him on Strictly was so embarrassing. I'm surprised he didn't pretend to be a washing machine salesman called Jim.
Yeah, he said it was a midlife crisis, didn't he? But looking at the state of him in that photo, I think midlife's a bit optimistic, isn't it?
In that photo, basically, that suit was actually sequined, but he breathed out, and then...
Apparently his Native American name is Dances with Difficulty.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Rob Tiffany! The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who is this and why were they in the news this week?
Is he saying, in Greece, we play air bouzouki?
I think he's probably saying, that referendum, Alexander, that was a pointless answer.
I think he's saying, I know we're in a lot of debt, but at least can I just have some water?
Come on, people. Come on.
I think he might actually be saying the worst thing is that the Germans have made me stand in this top hat.
It looks a bit like Angela Merkel's playing the piano while he sings. Sing for me!
This is how you should earn back the money.
Yeah.
Sing it again!
It looks to me, he actually looks at me, and even though Angela Merkel is looking at him, he looks at me like he's just got there. And just like, I'll give that a few minutes.
So it's all this Greek food I eat. or he's just going, sorry, can anyone pay for the cabbie? He's just waiting outside.
Hurry up, meter's running.
Yeah. He'll explode a light if you don't pay him. Nice to see Angela Merkel letting her guard down, though, isn't it? Okay.
When she's chilled out, she's dressed as a minion.
Very ironically, Angela Merkel dressed as a minion. Yes, after almost 17 hours of talks in Brussels, a tenuous agreement between the EU and Greece has been reached. A long, all-night thing. All-night thing. The tensest moment, by the way, of the all-night thing is when they went, oh, my God, I'm exhausted. Could somebody get me a sugary drink? And said, yeah, but that's another 20% of the tax.
No! You'll never be
be free of this.
They were all-night talks, and what they kept referring to them in the papers as marathon talks, which really just hammers it home for the Greeks. That's a big cruel irony there.
Yeah,
exactly. Marathon talks, because the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks won.
They did. Well, it wasn't them, was it? It was two bits of... It was Athens versus Sparta, wasn't it?
It was... They were versus the Persians.
Oh, OK, they were versus the Persians.
Yeah, at the Battle of Marathon.
I'd be on that team. It's boring over here.
Really is.
The first subject tonight is what a TV chef would never say.
So that's the bird plucked and stuffed. All that remains is to kill it.
Welcome to One Fat Lady.
And here, what you want to do is put a little bit of the brown mixture in the tin and then sprinkle a little bit of hash on the top of it.
Well, these Korean meatballs really are the dog's bollocks.
If you're wondering how to get the perfect skin on your parsnips, then you're mental.
Hello, I'm Delia Smith, and today we're going to cook a panda.
Am I invisible in this fucking jacket?
I think you...
So, I've marinated it for half an hour, seared it for 15 seconds, and now I'm drizzling it on my buttocks.
You just need two things to make this dish. What you need is a takeaway menu and a phone.
Tonight on Russian cookery, cyanide, polonium, and a crab stuffed with explosives.
Not going to be worth it now, is it?
Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is... magazines. Who wants to come in that?
OK. Tiff. As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? And magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and
Our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not, like, in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tips every time. Come on back, both of you.
This game involves Reese and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched the Wheel of News, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first subject is jobs. Who wants to come out? Reese.
I've got a job. Yeah, I'm not resigning. And my job is this, which still counts Dad. This is a good job. It's not perfect. It's not the best job in the world. I would never say that. Some people think it is. It's not, right? Best job in the world, community support officer. With no power comes no responsibility. Best job ever. But nothing is expected of you if you're a community support officer, right? If it's not writing down someone's details, then it is beyond your remit. That is 100%. It's just vigilante admin. That's all it is. You're a professional grass. That is your job. I got a leaflet through the post a few weeks ago advertising that job, right? It said, do you have what it takes to be the best? Will you stand up in the face of danger when no one else will? No? Then you should become a community support officer. In the hierarchy of law enforcement in this country, it goes Army, Police, British Transport Police, Ticket Inspector, Traffic Warden, Park Ranger, Dinner Lady, Kid wearing Nike trainers, Kid wearing Adidas trainers, Community Support Officer, Kid wearing Umbro.
Well done. Reese. OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough have found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, Jim McMahon. Points got a rubbish, you and Miles.
We come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can all make your way over to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. Right, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear from a weather forecaster.
The Met Office have issued a weather warning. They've told the weather not to do that again, or there'll be trouble.
Temperatures could rise to 31 degrees. Shit, I've left my baby in the car!
A hurricane tonight will be caused by low pressure and God's hatred of homosexuality.
A huge depression over Scotland, and now the weather.
And finally, a warning to hay fever sufferers. Don't come sneezing near me or I'll rip your face off.
So, here's the summary. Monday shite, Tuesday shite, Wednesday shite, Thursday bollocks.
The humidity's rising. The barometer's going low. Tonight, for the first time, just about 10:30, it's going to start raining men.
The outlook's bright for the weekend. I've got 3 grams of coke in my pocket and my wife's on holiday.
Well, let's go to Carol on the roof of Television Centre. She's not meant to be there. She's just a bit depressed.
This part of the country is going to stay hot and wet for quite some time because that's where my girlfriend lives. Oh, yeah.
So, it's going to be between 17 and 21, but Berlusconi won't date older than that.
was raining cats and dogs last night.
I should know. I was throwing them off my roof.
What are you watching me for? Look out the fucking window.
It's going to be cloudier tonight. I love those German birds.
What do you care what the weather's going to be like? You look shit in all your clothes.
The next topic is deleted lines from Star Trek.
Kirk to Enterprise. OK, how about if I stand over here?
Scotty, that's the most convincing your accent has ever been.
Captain, I can see an alien ship approaching. It's not showing up on the radar. It's a circular vessel, some sort of lettering and number... Oh, no, sorry, it's my tax disc.
I have no emotion. My mother was a Vulcan. My father was Gordon Brown.
All right, which one of you ate my Scotch egg?
This is the Federation of Gay Planets. Open your docking bay and prepare to be boarded.
Tell you what, Spock, your towel is a lot softer than mine.
Captain's log. Just seen some aliens. OMG. WTF. LOL. Smiley face.
Who are these terrifying aliens? You can't call them that anymore, Captain. It's Uhuru and Sulu.
Welcome to the SS Enterprise, Mr. Eccleston.
Now, which one of you put your red top in the washing with all the yellow ones?
There's going to be some changes around here. They call me Captain Tatty Bojangles.
What's wrong, Captain Picard? What's wrong? I'm a serious Shakespearean actor, and I'm talking to the ambassador of the fucking worm people!
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Frank and Andy!